All right, so we're here at the Next Berlin. So who are you?
My name is Matthias Schmidt-Fitzner, and I run the consumer internet businesses of Deutsche Telekom, including T-Online and e-commerce.
So, consumer internet businesses. How many people are using that?
Oh, the T-Online portal is the most used general interest portal in Germany, used by 60 million uniques every month. And then we have got music and video and games download services that are used by approximately 2.5 million people per month.
So what you talk about is services on the web, is not the internet service.
It's services on the web, exactly.
So you don't work on the broadband service, or that's a different part of it?
No, it's not access I'm talking about. I'm just talking about internet offerings that Deutsche Telekom provides.
So,
actually, not only internet, but mobile as well.
So that's a lot of bandwidth. That's pretty big, right?
Yes, it is.
So how do you make sure everything works? You have like, is it standard internet business, like building more servers?
Well, in terms of technology, yeah, that is standard, because you can simply scale the hosting facilities we have. Yeah, that's not an issue. The biggest issue is to really have the right people on board. Those people that embrace the business, live the business, and can run them just like they would be their own entrepreneurs.
So, for example, Google has pretty huge servers to stream YouTube to everybody at the same time. It's crazy big, right?
Absolutely.
How big is it? Can you say anything?
On Google, I have no clue how big they are by now.
But it has to be huge.
But I can tell you a nice story, because I'm in this industry for 17 years now. So I have been with AOL at the very beginning. And AOL back then, their whole server farm had a capacity of, what was it? It was 10 terabyte. Yeah, by now I've got a 10 terabyte server on my desk at home. Back then it was a hangar. It was like many soccer fields full of servers.
Much bigger than this room. That was 10 terabytes.
Absolutely.
And now you have yourself at home. Everybody can have it at home.
Absolutely, everybody can have it.
300, 400, 500 euros.
So it's not a matter of infrastructure. It's rather a matter of relevant services and a matter of the right mindset.
So what does T-Mobile want to do? What does Deutsche Telekom want to do in your field in the future? What's happening?
In my field, well, A, it's scale our current businesses. B, explore new opportunities to provide internet online services and mobile services to the end customer, and either do that by building it ourselves or partnering with the respective companies that provide these services.
So this one thing I would like to do is be able to go with my smartphone from one country to the other and just get online without paying huge roaming fees. Like just buying the package from Deutsche Telekom or from another carrier and just saying I want to buy this 1 gigabyte terabyte. This is just one thing I would like to see. What do you think?
I would love to see the same thing.
You'd love to see the same thing?
Yes.
You were talking on stage. You had to reply to some of the people in the hall. We were talking about this news that's happening in Germany.
The throttling of the broadband service. Yeah.
So I totally understand that it makes sense. People pay for how much they use.
Yeah.
And I would like to pay for how much I use, even though I use 3 terabytes per month. But it all depends on how much people pay, right?
Absolutely. But you have two choices, right? One choice is everybody pays a higher fee in order to enable the carrier to recoup the investment that is required for providing the infrastructure. Or you do a differentiated price plan when you see that there is a gap opening, and then those people that actually use much more than others have to pay more.
How much more?
How much more? No, it's not public. It's even not defined.
Not
right?
defined. It's
no.
just an idea.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
But it's already in May?
No. It's going to be implemented. That's the current plan in 2016, right?
Oh yeah.
It is just that the general policy for new contracts from the 2nd of May 2013 onwards is going to provide for the fact that there will be a differentiated pricing.
But Moore's law means that, as you said before, storage, thus probably bandwidth, gets cheaper every year, no?
No. Bandwidth unfortunately doesn't get cheaper. No, because you have to scale your infrastructure. It is not that one cable carries, I don't know, 1,000 customers as well as 100,000 customers. You have to scale your infrastructure, and that in the fixed line business means you have to put more cable and fiber into the ground. You have to develop new technologies like vectoring in order to get the best out of the existing infrastructure into the ground. And for mobile, it is to set up more cells, set up more infrastructure there.
So it's not Moore's law.
No, unfortunately it's not. So Deutsche Telekom is going to invest 6 billion in Germany alone over the next 3 years in order to step up the network.
So people who use BitTorrent should pay for that. I'm joking.
Well, I think everybody who uses the service at a higher level than the broad majority of all the others has to pay more. I mean, we know it from the mobile services, and why not have the same logic applied for fixed line?
But I think it would be fine if the price is reasonable.
Absolutely, I agree.
So people who download 2 terabytes should be okay paying a little bit more.
I agree.
Even hopefully it's not too much more. That's the only question.
As said, I have no clue, and the pricing is not defined yet.
But of course, every country in the world has to do the same, because bandwidth is going up. So eventually, everybody's going to have metered internet. No?
Deutsche Telekom is the first carrier to do it in Germany. There already are carriers in Germany that do this metered bandwidth. And as you were able to see this morning in the panel, the guy from Telefonica sitting next to me said, exactly right, and we will go down that route as well.
So what do you think about, what is the word for it, where you have one fixed fee, you get a whole bunch of content, like Spotify.
Yep.
Stuff is happening with that, no? With Deutsche Telekom? Or in Germany?
Well, that is, we are talking about general internet access, and then we have to talk about premium services that you pay extra for. So for Spotify, you pay extra. You pay a fee of €9.99 per month. You have unlimited bandwidth, and you've got your Spotify streaming. Same goes for Entertain, which is the IPTV proposition of Deutsche Telekom.
Entertain?
Yeah. So the usage of Entertain will not be counted into your bandwidth you get with your broadband package. So these quality of services that are paid for in addition to your normal bandwidth, they are free of metering.
How much is Entertain per month? How much do you get content?
Entertain comes with a VDSL connection and flat internet and certain flat telephone tariffs, and it's $39.99.
$39.99?
Yes.
Is it like Netflix in Germany? Something like that?
It is. It's like Netflix. It's video on demand, but it's also IPTV.
So, do you expect more and more of that kind of stuff in Germany and everywhere in the world, where people will kind of pay some kind of fee to get access to unlimited, like newspapers? People will probably want to pay a fixed fee and get access to all the newspapers, all the e-books, all that stuff. What are you working on?
It depends on the kind of usage that you want to trigger, right? There are certain people to whom this kind of content is so valuable, they're very happy to pay a fixed fee, just like music. For content, there might be content that you're totally not interested in, so content possibly is rather a pay-per-use model, so you pay per article you read. And therefore, I think it will be a mixture of those two business models.
But Spotify is quite disruptive to the iTunes model. People are quite happy to get
I completely agree.
ad-supported or small fee per month.
Absolutely, but when you look at the age clusters, the Spotify age cluster is much younger than the iTunes age cluster, and therefore I think it's an evolving market, and it will be the same thing for all the other media segments as well.
So video on demand is growing like crazy. Is it 100% every year?
Well, it depends on what kind of video on demand. Yeah, is it subscription video on demand, or transaction video on demand, or even advertising video on demand? What is really growing is subscription video on demand. Yes, that's true.
So that's like the Entertain.
Entertain is your normal linear TV, which you get transmitted via IPTV. Plus certain interactive parts in it, and then you've got special packages like soccer, for example, so the German Soccer League, or Blockbuster TV, and so on that you pay in addition for.
But you want this that you said is growing very fast. Which one is that? What is it exactly?
That's a subscription video on demand.
Like Netflix. What is it here in Germany?
Netflix, where are they in Germany?
What do you have here in Germany? That subscription video on demand.
There's a new company called Watchever, which is a subsidiary of Vivendi from France, and they're currently entering the market, and they will definitely disrupt the market as well.
So lots of things happening here. It's awesome to be able to just click and get what you want.
I completely agree, and that is what you need bandwidth for.
And you're working on that yourself?
On what?
That service? At Deutsche Telekom?
We're working on tons of different services, from, as said, a big portal that is advertising driven to transactional businesses or subscription businesses in the health sector. So Deutsche Telekom is a big company, and the portfolio of offerings that we have is as big.
All right, so what are you doing here at the Next Web? Do you talk with people? Lots of things going on here in Berlin.
I agree. Berlin itself is a great startup hub, and I'm also talking to well, tons of people that I know from my past 15, 17 years in the industry. So meet old people, meet old friends, and meet new guys to do business with.
What do you think about Europe? IT in Europe, technology, is it going to save Europe or not save Europe? Is it going to... It's really... There was
Steinbrück.
Steinbrück?
Yeah.
It's quite important what goes on with all this technology stuff.
I agree, especially in countries like Germany where you don't have any kind of natural resources. Yeah, you have to build on the labor market, you have to build on education, you have to build on an ecosystem where you provide people with the ability to start new businesses in the service area.
So what can Deutsche Telekom do that has a huge role in that?
I mean, Deutsche Telekom has got plenty of different initiatives there. We have got our own incubator called Hubraum that enables new companies to start the business. We have T Ventures, which is one of the biggest corporate funds worldwide that invests into later stage ventures and companies. We have different initiatives in our business units doing new business, new services, new offerings. There's tons of stuff that Deutsche Telekom does in every single aspect of the connected life of the consumer.
T-Mobile is still owned by Deutsche Telekom.
T-Mobile is not existing as a brand anymore. T-Mobile was the mobile segment of Deutsche Telekom, and now it is simply Deutsche Telekom, and we rather talk about access, which is double or triple play.
But T-Mobile in the USA, is that Deutsche Telekom owned?
Exactly, it's Deutsche Telekom owned, and they only have mobile access services, and therefore it's still called T-Mobile.
And they announced something crazy in the US. Have you heard about it?
The Un-Carrier Manifesto?
That's kind of like what needs to happen worldwide.
It depends.
Really
I think
cool.
it is great. I think it's absolutely great, but it also is a strategy that is pretty typical for a new entrant into the market, yeah, or follower in the market. You could never do the same thing being a leader in the market. Therefore, I think it's a great approach. It's very bold. And for the consumer, it's the best you can get.
Let's hope T-Mobile gets a whole bunch of new customers in the US.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, that's what I use when I go to the US because I like having a fixed.
Yeah.
But still, in Europe, it's kind of cheaper. You get more gigabytes for less money than in the US.
It depends on the market, right? I mean, if you go into Austria in Europe, you barely pay anything because it's a test market for all the different carriers. And then there are other markets where you pay much, much more. So
Germany is quite okay?
Germany is pretty aggressive and competitive due to the regulation as well. And therefore, yes, it's quite okay.
But Deutsche Telekom is still government-owned partially. How big or part of it is government?
I think the government share in Deutsche Telekom is something around 20%.
So what does that mean? Does that mean they can decide stuff or not really?
No, they can't.
No?
They can't. But we have a certain social responsibility, or even bigger social responsibility that any other carrier would have.
All right. But thanks a lot for your replies, and
a pleasure.
Good luck with the metering future. And
thanks a lot.